Two, one.
Hi, it's Al again. The penny guy, the God guy, the plant guy. I'm going to talk to you today about the plants and what's going on with them. So, about, I'd say a week ago now, I separated some plants, and the first plant I got, I've since called Sprout. And he's a fruit tree of some kind. And he really sprouted up in like what, a week, would you say?
Yeah.
In a week he went from being 2 inches tall to being 2 feet tall. Okay, go back there for
Okay.
a second. To being 2 feet tall, and he just recently flowered a lot. The leaves, as you can see. Now, and I had taken another plant that we had gotten from church, Community Vineyard Church, was giving away plants, and we got one plant that had some problems. The leaves were infected, I'll say, on the plant, and the plant was real bushy. And so, what I did, maybe I should say about, let's see, 40 years ago, I used to take care of a greenhouse, and I learned a few things. One of the things I learned was if you cut the leaves off from it, it'll sprout from there, and it'll grow. Um, Even though it doesn't have it hasn't sprouted any leaves yet, it'll grow. And the other thing that I did, which good, bad, and different, was when I separated it, I didn't really have that many containers. So I ended up using big Dixie cups, I'll say. And the problem I had with using a Dixie cup is it doesn't release the water. So what ends up happening when you put water in it and it's a cloudy day, the water doesn't go anywhere. It just stays there. And the plant actually has too much water. So, and especially for a young plant, what ends up happening is they recess. They're they still have whatever leaves they have, but instead of flourishing, they retract. And so you get an assortment of plants that some are doing well, while some are not doing so well. And I tried a few days of letting them be in the sun, except we didn't have sun. We had clouds. We had cloudy, rainy kinds of days, fogs, smog. We had smog for a few days and didn't even have sunshine. Um, so that's been going on with the earth, right? And so another thing I'll say about the plants is I've gotten a real positive response to me talking to them. So I would suggest if you have any indoor or outdoor plants, whatever it is, talk to them and give them encouragement. Good job.
Hey,
Be
Al,
supportive.
I talk about how to fix that one. That.
So one of the things when you have a bush or a plant, a tree that the stock can't support it, what you can do is you can, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to get a stick that runs up the tree and put a couple twisties on it until it grows enough, till it gets thicker. And I also put in plant food, the spikes. Let me say that. I put the spikes in there into the pots, and if it's not doing well, it's going to retract or recess. I need to say that. So I've got it leaning against the window at the moment. But what I need to do is get a 2 foot long stick so I can attach twisties or whatever. You can use all kinds of things, anything to attach it. Because it needs help, is really what it needs. And so until until it flourishes, I'll say, you'll need to not just water it, you'll need to talk to it, and treat it as well as you would treat your pet or your child. Be encouraging, and I mean that, and it'll flourish for you. That's what's going to happen. Another thing I want to say is I'm just going to touch on this briefly. Is about God, and I know I've talked to you about this before, but a couple of the biggest things, whether it's food or plants or pennies or whatever it is, we're only going to succeed on this planet as humans if we put God first. When we don't put God first, the devil actually controls a lot of what people do. Money, power, whatever it is. Bad thoughts, whether it's your family, whether it's people you don't like, people you don't know, people you think that hurt you, all kinds of things. And what we need to do medically, I don't care what it is, that we need to give it to God. And what I mean by that is not just say, God, please take this away, but glorify God. And if we can glorify God every day, then our hopes, there's only going to be two options in life. And we're either going to be in heaven with God and in the book of life, which that's our only hope. Because the other choice is in fire lake with the devil for eternity, both things. Millions and millions and billions of years.
Let me talk a little about the kugel that you're going to make in the next video.
What we're going to do today is I make a side dish. I'm going to make this dish called kugel, which is a noodle type of pudding. And I change it a little from what the recipe says, just a little bit. But I'll get into that when I'm over there putting it together. And it's a casserole dish. It's typically a Jewish or Yiddish dish. I make it sweet as as a, as opposed to just being fattening. It's a fattening. It's got
So it's not
cottage
normal.
cheese, sour cream, egg noodles,
Is
eggs.
it not normally made sweet?
Well, it's not as sweet as I make it.
Okay.
And what I do is I use cinnamon sugar. Is what I use for my sweetener. I'm just saying. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And I beat it hand kind of thing. It's not even, I use a spoon. I can use a plastic spoon. That's it.